It is a moment in time that has been permanently etched into my memory. The passing of 4 years has done little to diminish its clarity. I remember sitting on the steps outside of the CVS on Mass Avenue. I remember staring blankly at the shoppers across the street at Whole Foods, watching how effortlessly they went about their day-to-day lives, desperately wishing for that sense of normalcy in my own. I remember the way the bitter Boston air nipped at my face, a chill not nearly as cold as the one I felt settle into my soul. I remember every painful thought I had. They came in rapid-fire succession. Why do I have to hurt so deeply? Am I a burden to my family? Does my boyfriend even love me? Do I have friends? Why did I ever think I'd be cut out for college? Is life worth living? Why am I alive? And then the thoughts went quiet as a painful truth set in. I don't want to be alive. That's where the clarity of that moment ends. From there, it all became a montage of events so choppy, to this day, my memory still glosses over many of the details. I remember getting up from the steps. I remember going back to treatment the next day. I remember agreeing to a medical leave. I remember packing up my dorm. I remember walking through Logan Airport ready to head home for said medical leave. And I remember making a quiet promise to myself as I boarded the plane, a promise that this time would be different. This time I would engage in my recovery, and this time I owed it to myself to fight back. And here I stand, 4 years, 16 medications, a handful of therapists and psychiatrists, and a few stints in treatment later. The promise I made to myself has been tested, but remains unbroken. I went back to those same steps not too long ago. I wish I could end my story here and tell you I'd overcome my mental illness, and in that moment I felt as though my demons had been silenced. That wouldn't be the truth, though. Mental illness isn't something to conquer. I still struggle. I continue to have episodes, painful moments, and times where I come face to face with what feels like the end. And yet, standing on those steps, I couldn't help but feel a sense of pride wash over me, despite having to continue navigating life with a mental illness. I was standing on the very steps I never thought I'd get up from, and I was alive. You see, I know what it's like to feel like you're at the end of your rope. I know what it's like to have everyone around you telling you it will be okay and feeling as though that couldn't be further from the truth. I know what it feels like when you truly believe there is no way out. I want you to know that those feelings and experiences are valid and real. But I stand here today to tell you that's not where our stories have to end. I stand here to tell you that there is another side. And I stand here to tell you the things I wish I knew sitting outside CVS, the things I hope will stick with you if you ever find yourself in the throes of a mental illness. 1, you matter. Your voice matters. Your story matters. You deserve the space you take up. It's easy to let your illness tell you otherwise. In fact, I can almost guarantee at some point it will tell you otherwise. So I will repeat this mantra one more time for the negative thoughts lingering in the back of your mind. You matter, your voice matters, your story matters, you deserve the space you take up. 2, finding the right treatment isn't easy. It's a frustrating process that can involve countless medications, different therapies, hospital stays, and sometimes a Hail Mary attempt to try every bullet point that WebMD says will help treat your illness. With that being said, there is a treatment out there for you. Treatment has come a long way and only continues to evolve and improve. I know it's hard to go through the trial and error, but please hold on. The next treatment may be the one that changes your life. 3, you are worthy of love. Some, or maybe many days, you will find that hard to believe. But your illness, your story, and your pain do not make you unlovable. It makes you human. And being a human is messy and complicated. In fact, the pieces of you that you don't believe are worthy of love are often the pieces that connect us to one another. So if you haven't heard it today, I'll say it for you now. You are loved. 4, some days are going to flat out suck. Recovery isn't linear. It pains me to have to utter both of those sentences, but I want to be realistic. The days that suck aren't going to be forever, although they may feel like it. Find something to hold on to, big or small. There's no such thing as a stupid reason to live. Truthfully, it was often the voice of Michael Scott and the failing paper business Dunder Mifflin that gave me a reason to smile long enough to see another day. And 5, One day, your illness may punch you in the face. Perhaps you won't duck the blow, but you'll connect a few punches of your own, suddenly realizing how strong you have become. What I'm really trying to say is you absolutely stand a chance in this fight. And if you ever need someone to tell you they believe in you and love you, I'll be more than happy to be your hype girl. Nobody should have to do this alone, and I never want anyone to be sitting on their version of the CVS sidewalk wondering if life is worth living. I can absolutely promise you it is. Thank you.